Hi, my name is Lauren Dingus. I'm going to be doing the Unit 2.2 Poetry Reading and Response video. So the author of the poem I chose is Frank X. Walker, and the title is Y'all Say I Do, We Say Black Lives Matter. And this assignment is going to explore the oral mode of poetry. So I chose 9 lines. They're going to be 4 through 12 of my poem, and I'll go ahead and read them. To seal your vows and then march for all our promises into Philly streets. Swollen with protesters, they replaced thrown rice with tear gas and pepper spray, but it still felt more like a large reception for freedom than a riot. Resplendent in wedding gown and tuxedo, fists raised high to demonstrate that black love is the liberation married to the joy that fills your faces. So, when I read the poem, I immediately recalled an image in the news of a couple who had merged their wedding reception with a Black Lives Matter protest. When I realized that this poem was actually dedicated to that couple, I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I'm guilty of typically viewing poetry as a form of pretentious writing. I know that may sound silly, but this is a reminder that it's a living form of literature. Feeling connected by life experience to a poem isn't something I had ever experienced or thought could experience before. But I remember the emotions and the energy at the protest that I was a part of. And the vivid imagery in these lines just match like the unrest, but also kind of celebration that I personally experienced. So for the first time, really, I realized that poetry is relevant and not old dudes from times past soothing their boredom. My favorite line is going to be the tail end of 7 and 8. But it still felt more like a large reception for freedom than a riot. So when I was marching into the square of my town, I was thinking of all of the protesters who had advocated for rights before me. Being a woman, there's the suffragettes, and they faced jail, bodily harm, and being ostracized, just championing the cause of allowing women to vote. Civil rights protests were responded to brutally. With persistence, there was some movement forward with schools merging and the colored signs being removed, some of the lawful segregation being outlawed, but a lot of that did not end, unfortunately. So here I was, in that moment, picking up the torch with my community and just marching for life, for really society, and particularly the criminal justice system, to take a long, hard look at the inequality and inequity that they had created for people of color. But the energy that I experienced it was palpable. People were angry, hurting, supportive. We all came together for what should have always been. And that line, but it still felt more like a large reception for freedom than a riot. It fits it absolutely perfectly. So that's going to be the end of my presentation today. Thanks for listening in, and I hope you have a good day.